Zach from Tap here. Just want to talk quick about a cool little case study we did with two elite football players. Both came to me this summer for some speed work, and they both showed and lacked the exact same ability. And that ability is what we'll see coming up here is the ability to produce horizontal force and power. Both really good athletes. They both work really well in tight spaces. They probably developed some of these poor habits and acceleration due to football and the positional needs. But as you're going to be able to see, is they just can't, or at the time weren't able to, produce any horizontal power. Their Excel numbers were, from a high school football standpoint and a college football standpoint, were pretty average at best, which quite honestly surprised me. We ended up testing like vertical power. That was not the issue. Even max V was not the issue. But as you can see going through these videos, they just can't get going. They can't produce power at the start. Their step length is super duper small. Like Rico here, he has probably one of the smallest step lengths I've ever seen for any football player at the high school or college level. But they both had really good timing, really good feet, good mechanics, both elastics. They're able to get away with it a little bit. But our goal, and you can just see some of these comparisons to some other athletes who have developed this horizontal force. Just they weren't going anywhere. They weren't separating anywhere. And that was our main priority. I pretty much just put all our eggs in that basket. I said, if we can get that better, everything's going to get better. And it proved to be correct. But you're going to see these drills here. It's just, simply put, we are developing the ability to be strong horizontally. And really, in a lot of cases, to get comfortable projecting your body into space horizontally. So it's going to be with low walks, shin drop walks, weighted bounds, tons of shred mill work, tons of ohm work. But I wanted to get them comfortable projecting into space horizontally. And it started to come together really well, but you can see that step length there is so short. Once Rico got comfortable on the shred mill, you can see that stride just start to open up. And you could see it in their speeds. Their Excel numbers got way better over the course of a month. You can see with Trey here, I want you to look at the step length. His step length improved by about 0.2 meters. His 10-yard build into a 10-yard fly went from a 120 to a 108. Rico, same thing. He came in at like a 115, and it was about 3.5 weeks for Rico. Got him to a 108. So just getting comfortable, projecting, and being powerful horizontally. Just wanted to sum up this video a little bit because I just thought it was super interesting. Typically when we have football players come in here, it's the complete opposite. They have an ability to accelerate. They have the ability to project and produce horizontal force early on. And then what you would typically see is they lose that ability as they travel down and have to transition to max V. So we'll have these football kids come in, have really good Excel numbers, but they struggle reaching 20 miles per hour. That was not the case with Trey and Rico at all. When we tested max V, I was nervous. I was like, based on their Excel numbers, we'll be lucky to hit 20. And they both hit 21, 22 miles per hour right off the bat without even giving them that stimulus beforehand. But it kind of goes back to what we talked about. They didn't lack in mechanics, timing, elasticity, vertical power, any of that, that's kind of the stuff you'll see at max V. They were already good at that because they're very skilled. They just couldn't produce raw horizontal power. So that was our goal. We put all our eggs in that basket, and honestly, it was pretty easy. With the shred mill, with the ohm run, you just alter the resistance to get them in a good spot, typically around 50% VDEC, and we're going to live there for 3-4 weeks. We're going to deload you, see what happens, and it worked. And sprinkle in some other drills that I thought were good for them as well. But it's just a super interesting case. And the other thing, and maybe this is a whole other video we'll talk about, is positional needs of football. One, neither of them really did any speed work before they came to me. It was very foreign to them. So a big piece was just getting used to it. Two, with the positional needs, they're both corners. They're both defensive backs. They're both elite. All right, Trey's the best player in the state of Wisconsin. Rico's an All-American corner for the Badgers. In Rico's case, Trey's case is a little different because he plays offense too and scores a ton of long touchdowns. Rico, if you watch Rico play football, watch a Saturday game, he's not running full speed ever. Why? He's in control. He's never getting beat. It's that simple. The only time he's really ran and opened up the last couple of years is he had a pick six against Rutgers last year, where he probably reached 21 miles an hour in the field. Other than that, teams aren't throwing his way. He's just always in control. He's playing DB like a basketball player. So you don't have to have insane Excel and speed numbers to be extremely good at the next level. You just don't. You have to have elite game speed, which we talked about before. And yeah, it's super interesting case. Once again, it goes into train the athlete in front of you. Okay, you're gonna have to bucket athletes differently in the weight room, and it goes for speed work too. Because we have a complete other great example is Coach Speaks. Complete opposite of those two. Excel numbers. Speaks is the best Excel numbers we've seen, but it takes a lot of work for Speaks to get good from 10 to 20 and 20 to 30. It takes work. It's just so different. So train the athlete in front of you, give them what they need at that time, and good things are going to happen.